Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Wild, a life coach and tarot reader. And I have to be honest with you, today I'm feeling a little bit tired. My eyelids are kind of heavy right now as I'm recording this video. And it really ties into something I want to talk to you about today, which is the topic of how to love yourself more. So, I have a few things that I want to share with you that are going to help you learn how to love yourself more on a daily basis and really show yourself that you love and you care about yourself a lot. So, the number one thing I want to talk about today is put yourself first. This is the number one thing that you can do to show yourself that you love and you care about yourself on a deep level. See, a lot of times, especially I've found for women and mothers, we have this mentality where we think that it's the right thing to do, it's the righteous thing to do, it's the benevolent thing to do, it's the motherly thing to do, to put yourself last. So you take care of everybody else's needs, and then yours comes last, right? I was raised in actually several different households growing up from my personal experience, where this was the case, where this was just the role that the mother of the house, the woman of the house, took on. And, it caused her a lot of stress, a lot of negative feelings, a lot of afternoons hauled up in bed. Even though it was different women in different households, there's always that, afternoon headache and needing to rest and take time out, because her body had gotten to the point where it was forcing her to, instead of her doing it preemptively, right? So I grew up under that mentality of that role model of that's just, what a mother does, what a mother is. And, when I became a mother, I kind of automatically started doing that as well. And I was just kind of doing it automatically, really, without even thinking about it. Just kind of replicating what my consciousness had taken in as a young girl. And so, from dusk until dawn, it was about everybody else. It was about caring for the needs of the children, for the household, for my partner, and all of this stuff, right? And, it caused a lot of stress in my life. It caused me to feel overwhelmed, all the time. I started having these, angry outbursts because I wasn't tending to myself, and it's like myself was actually getting mad about it, and it kind of manifested in, these moments where I would snap, right? Because there was just this emotion under the surface building up about me being upset that I wasn't tending to my own needs. And so I really had to become aware of this and what was going on, especially, when I would experience these intense negative emotions. Of course, that's a big sign where I would be like, okay, what's going on? Why is this happening? Why am I acting this way? Why am I so mad? What is this about, right? So I brought awareness to it, and I inquired about it with the intention of just getting clarity on what this was, because I knew this wasn't my best self. I knew this wasn't my truest self to act this way, and I just needed to get to the bottom of it and find out what was going on, because I wasn't happy. And, I was having experiences where I was putting out negative emotion that was making other people unhappy too, right? So, that whole saying, when mama ain't happy, the whole house isn't happy. We all heard that and we laugh and we think it's funny, but at the same time it's like, well, why is mama not happy? And what is that about? And what's going on, right? It's not really just a given that she's going to be like that from time to time. It doesn't have to be that way. So I had to go on this journey, and at that time in my life, as tends to happen when I asked, I started reading blogs and books and different perspectives from other women who had identified this, and really pointed me on a journey to more self-love in my life, right? Because putting everybody else before myself wasn't loving myself, right? I was like, emptying my cup, and then not refilling it, and still emptying my cup to give to other people, and it just doesn't work that way. You cannot effectively give and love and nurture and support other people when you're not doing that to yourself. And you might hear that and whatnot, but the truth is, if you're not doing that to yourself, then your cup isn't full. So you're running on an empty cup, and it just doesn't work. You don't have anything to authentically and genuinely give to anybody at that point, because you are actually, running on an empty cup. And anything that you do in that kind of energy, it's not going to be very effective, right? I think other people can sense the energy that we're coming from when we do things, even on a subconscious level if it's not conscious, right? And so the other person, I just don't believe is fulfilled as much as they could be if you were actually giving to them with a full cup. See, I want to come to a crucial point right here. A lot of women do this, not just because it's a generational pattern, right? Maybe something that they learned from their mom, and it's passed down until somebody decides to transform it and create something new for the generational line. A lot of women, and this might be triggering to some women and mothers out there, but they derive their sense of identity and self-worth from being a mother and everything that they can give, okay? And this is a little bit of a topic for a different video, but I'm just going to touch on it really lightly here. The fact of the matter is, every single one of us is infinitely worthy just because we exist. Our worth is inherent in our birth on planet Earth, in our existence in this reality. Simply being here means that we are worthy beyond measure. And when you don't believe that and accept that in your heart, you are going to the outside and clinging to all these different things to kind of fill that sense of worth in your life. Mothers can also do this. They can fill that void for not really knowing that they are inherently worthy just by being born. And they can cling to, oh, I'm such a giver, I sacrifice so much for my family, and it's like their identity actually gets dissolved in being a mother. But every single mother is first and foremost a woman in her own right. And you can feel deeply that your purpose on earth is to raise a family and be a parent, and that can be your purpose. But when you tether your worth and your identity to solely being a mother, then you have a problem, because you're coming at it from this energy of emptiness instead of this energy of already being a fulfilled person. who feels, incredibly loved for who she is, and she accepts herself and she loves herself, and she is able to constantly fill up her own cup time and time again so that she can pour it out to other people. And like I said, this is a slightly different topic of knowing your worth is another video that I'll be doing in the future. You can see that with just, even women with shopping and stuff like that. We can certainly shop with an energy that makes us feel more of who we are, and a very enjoyable energy and a creative energy, right? Or it can be that you need to look a certain way or something like that to feel more worthy in the world. See, so it really depends how you approach something, any of these outside activities. It really matters the energy that we approach it with on the inside. So like I said, slightly different topic, but it does tie in here, just to explain how this can happen. Put yourself first. So, examples of this can be, I know for me personally, I'll just talk about me and what I do. It's honoring my emotions and what I'm feeling. So like I said, today I feel a little bit tired. Actually, as I've been recording this video, it's kind of funny that I'm starting to feel more energized. So that's funny. But at the beginning I was feeling kind of tired and my eyelids were heavy. So I was thinking to myself, I'm just going to take this evening and I'm going to just do whatever I want that makes me feel really good and makes me feel really relaxed. Okay, so it's super important that I take some time in the morning to care for myself. So for me, it's like getting that meditation time in, getting that yoga time in, right? You have every right to do it. You're a human being born on planet Earth who's experiencing and feeling and thinking and having all these different emotions. And not only is it your birthright to tend to it the way that you want to tend to it, whenever you want, however long you want, whatever. Not only that, but you're going to be way more of an effective mom, an effective woman or man, individual, human being on planet Earth. For a man, like if you're feeling really angry about something, or if you're feeling really sad and you want to go cry, that's perfectly fine. If you need to go get some anger out in whatever healthy way that you need to, because I know that there's some fathers out there who are dads, or just men in the world who have a lot of responsibilities and obligations. Before you tend to those other responsibilities outside of you, take care of yourself first. Put yourself first. So this was a key lesson for me. Like I said, having been raised in several different households where the mother of the house took on this kind of like martyr role. This was a super big lesson for me to come into awareness of and transform it, so that I could be more effective in the world and I could love myself more, because it is an act of self-love. Every time I take that space for myself, every time I attend to my body, every time I attend to my mind, every time I attend to my emotions, every single time that I set the boundary with my kids, every time I do that, I'm also setting an example to my kids that it is okay, it is perfectly great. In fact, it is normal to set boundaries for yourself and put yourself first. That way my kids don't pick up that, they need to grow up and, be so sacrificial. And the third thing is, one of the greatest ways that you can love yourself more is by having the strength to stop doing things that don't serve you and instead put your energy toward things that do serve you and make you feel better. So what I mean by this is, I'm just going to be very honest with you and say that there was a period of time in my life when I graduated high school and I got into my first apartment. I was living by myself. It was like freedom, there's no rules. Finally, I can do whatever I want. And it was the same time that Netflix started becoming really popular, and you could just like press every episode next, 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 next. Well, for a little period of time, I fell into this habit of binge watching TV. I was working at the time, I was going to school full time, and when I wasn't hanging out with my friends, I would just kind of catch myself like being at home, watching TV, just like hours would go by, right? And when it was done, I wouldn't feel very good. But it got to be where it became kind of an addictive energy surrounding it, right? Where, I couldn't wait to like get off work or get off school so I could go like see what happens next in this, made up story of like fictional characters' lives. And I was just like totally taking energy from my own life, right? And, I was allowing it to happen, and I was just, letting my energy kind of drain out into being so invested into this story. And so I really had to stop that. And when I did, I started feeling so much better. And when I stopped doing that, it was such an act of self-love, because I took this addictive energy and I totally transmuted it into my life to where I could actually harness more creative energy in my life and put it towards other things that actually made me feel really good. Consciously choosing to love and accept yourself for who you are is another way that you can love yourself, and that means loving all parts of you. Even the parts of you that you think are quirks or flaws or whatever, when you just totally come into owning it, like, this is who I am, this is part of me which makes me perfect, because I am perfect the way I am. Just like we are born worthy, we are born perfect, right? And so, those are just things to keep in mind. A great start on your self-love journey is to put yourself first, tend to your body and your mind and your emotions. Get clear about any addictive energies that are running in your life and take steps to transform that addictive energy so that you can use that energy for more creative purposes in your life, which is really going to make you feel a lot better. And just consciously choose to love and accept yourself for who you are. Even all of the things that you think are, mistakes or flaws about you or whatever, know that they are part of you, and that means that they are perfect because you're born into this world worthy and perfect exactly the way you are. Okay, so those are 4 things to keep in mind that are going to really help you transform your life and help you love yourself so much more so that you can just feel better, because when you love yourself, you just feel so amazing. Alright everybody, I'm Rachel Wild, and thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye.